Hello, my dear students. You are welcome to class. Good morning to you. Hope you rested well last night. So our topic for today is resizing a table. We will learn how to set table to a fixed width and how to set table to a width related to the size of the browser. So let's get started. I've opened my notepad and I don't want to create a new table into this lesson. So I decided to use the table for our previous lesson. Remember that we worked with table with header in our last lesson. So I just opened it in my notepad. Okay, this is where we will effect some changes and then see how it is on the browser. However, before we effect any change, this particular table, let's see how it appears on our browser before we change anything. Now this is the table. This is how it is on the browser. You can see that the width is not wide enough. It's just small. And so the content of each row barely fits into it. You know, just proportional to what is contained in the particular cell. For instance, look at mathematics. There is no additional space. Okay, and then we still have empty space here. We have unused space over here. So let's begin our correction on that table. Now, to make the table wider, we need to set an attribute for it. The attribute we want to set is style attribute. So we will just write style. And then the style we want to change, or the style we want to format, is width. So we write width. This has to be in quotation mark. We write width and we give the width a value. Okay, the value is measured in pixels. So let's take 400 pixels for instance, and then we need to close the quotation mark that was earlier up. So afterwards, we need to save this. We need to save what we've just done. Okay, now all we did was we included a new attribute, and the name of that attribute is style. Now the particular type of style that we want to change is the width. So this is the style, the width, and then we gave it a value. Okay, so that is basically what we've done. Now let's see how it is on the browser. I'm going to refresh it. Okay, so you can see this. The width has been increased. Okay, now that value, the 400 pixel that we give, was a fixed value, and so that means no matter the screen, no matter any device that is used to view this web page, there won't be any resizing of this table. The table will not be bigger or smaller. It's going to be fixed. It's going to be exactly the way it is now. So if a person is viewing this web page on, let's say, on a phone, and the phone is not very wide, that means the person will have to be scrolling to the left and to the right, or top and bottom, to be able to see the remaining content, because this table will not be adjusted to fit in to that person's screen. However, there is something else that can be done if we want it to fit into any browser or any screen at all that displays it. So we could set the width to a percentage of the person's entire screen. Okay, this is what I mean. Let's assume we want to use 80%. Instead of using a fixed value, we could just make it 80% of the person's screen. Okay, so let's save this and see what we have. Let me refresh it. Fine, this is it. The table has been increased. The width of that table has been increased, and it has assumed about 80% of my entire screen. Okay, so this is a relative width. What this actually means is that if you have a screen that is not as wide as mine, maybe you are displaying this on your phone, it will take about 80% of your screen, of the screen of your phone. And if you are actually displaying this on a monitor that is larger than what I used while creating this web page, it will also take exactly 80% of your monitor. So this is actually better. You know, the person viewing the web page does not have to scroll to the left, to the right, to the top or bottom. It gives that person, a very good view. Okay, so maybe we should centralize it so that this particular space at the right hand becomes automatically set. And so we also have another margin at the left hand side. So to do that, we will quickly add another attribute, and that attribute is margin. So let's set our margin to the left. Let's set it automatically. So we use auto, and then we separate it with a semicolon. When we are having more than one attribute, we use semicolon to separate it. So we can also set the margin to the right. We can set it automatically, auto. So let's save and see what we've got there. Okay, so I'm refreshing it. So this is it. We have the table taking about 80%, and it has also been centralized. So thank you, class, and bye.